is about a secret network of shelters that helps women who are targeted either because they have been raped or because they got divorced or because they just are trying to escape violence in their families, who are targeted by their relatives because they have dishonored their families. Most of Iraq is a very traditional society, and a woman who deviates from the traditional role, it's considered that she has dishonored the family, so often the family would go after her and kill her to rinse the honor of the family with her blood. So the shelter we visited is a secret shelter, one of a few secret shelters run by Iraqi women that provides safe shelter for these women and then allows them to go on living, to find a way to live in this new life they have where they have basically severed their ties with their families, and then it helps them learn a skill or maybe go to school or maybe marry somebody so that they are protected, because the best way for a woman to be protected here is to be married. People don't know about this side of the war. I think that in America especially, people really have very limited understanding of the damage for Iraqis that the war has wrought. There's so much focus on the American experience and the American tragedy of this war, the tragedy of more than 4,000 lives that have been lost, and the tragedy of being in this quagmire and how it's sapping our economy. But very few people really understand that Iraqis are bearing the brunt of this war. It's in their country, and there is very, very little information about what the war has meant for women, and the whole idea that we liberated Iraq and now Iraqi women are free, I think is very popular. There's very little understanding of how much freedom, not political freedom, but social freedom they had under Saddam, and how much they had to sacrifice as a result of the war. When a woman loses a man, loses her protector, she becomes a free-for-all. She becomes extremely vulnerable to militias and anybody, really. A 14-year-old girl who was kidnapped from Kadamiyya, a district in Baghdad, and then found gang-raped and severely wounded. It could have been Al-Qaeda, but it could have been really any of the local tribal farmers, because any man can take advantage of any woman in Iraq today.
So she's no longer perceived as a man's sister, mother.
She's alone.
Someone you protect.
Right. She's just alone, and there is no fear of the law because there is no law. Saddam had a state of terror. That state of terror went away, and there was no state that replaced it. It was filled by fractured militias, a fractured government, a government that Iraqis don't really believe in. There really is nowhere to look for protection.